Hi, my name is John, and I hope this video can help anybody because Leadway Relocation Services ruined our move, and aside from the money that we lost in this process, the emotional trauma and scarring has been considerably worse, and I hope this video at least helps one person. So I'll give you a little bit of background. Back in September of 2020, we sold our house, and it's the first time I moved in my adult life. We have 3 children, and I wanted a pretty easy move. So I started to research moving companies and getting quotes from a lot of different places, and I put my information into an Instagram ad, which then I was bombarded by moving companies. In retrospect, there are a lot of red flags along the way that in their own right were not major cues to not go forward with Leadway, but as I look back in retrospect, obviously I can see them. But moving is stressful. It's the first time I've done it, and I trusted Leadway to walk me through the process and make this a very smooth process, which it was not. So I talked to Leadway. They used high pressure sales tactics in order to get me to put a deposit down by saying they're trying, they need to book the truck, and they got the driver on the line, and the deposit was refundable within 48 hours. And they also promised to give me an accurate estimate of what I would be moving because I was moving a 3-bedroom house with a garage, a basement, an extra storage unit, and that they would walk me through the process in order to accurately estimate what I was moving. And so my original quote was $4,800 for the move, which was pretty reasonable given the other quotes that I had received from other moving companies. Almost suspiciously low, but given the fact that they weren't going to be packing me up, essentially the service was that they would come to my house, pick up all the boxes, move large furniture, hold it for 30 days because we had a gap in our closings, and then actually move it into the new house, not unbox it, but move it in, seemed pretty reasonable. And so I went forward with that. I went through the estimate of, how many cubic feet I would need for my move, telling them every vacuum, lamp, rug, couch, estimated boxes. I went through that process in order to get an accurate estimate, which is how I got to the $4,800. And then they said that they would call 10 days before the move to make sure there was enough room on the truck because sometimes they group moves together, and they several times had said they want an accurate estimation because there are many cases where they will show up to a house and there's way more than was estimated. And they said that several times on the call. And so about 10 days before the move, I got a call, and they were also going to give me the date of the move, a 2-day window where the move would happen. So, our closing was on a Wednesday, so they were going to come either Monday or Tuesday. So coming up to it, I got another call, and they said, hey, we want to accurately estimate the number of items you're going to be moving and how many cubic feet you need in the truck. So I went through the process again, and it increased because now we had a better sense of how many boxes we had, but nothing dramatically changed. We were downsizing, we were trying to get rid of stuff and get an accurate estimate. And so the additional space needed in the truck added up to $2,200 additional on top of the original quote. And so now we're at about $6,400 for the move, which I knew was still underneath some of the other quotes that I had for full service movers, not for a move of this type. And then, so I paid the $800 deposit, the $2,200 additional space between those, and then we were given the moving date for those 2 days. So then come to the moving date, the 2-day window, it was the back half of the moving date, and it was the Tuesday, and so it was right before the closing. Now we're getting very close. The day of the move that they were supposed to show up, they were 12 hours late to show up to my house. They showed up at 10 p.m. on the Tuesday they were supposed to move. And so this is already causing an incredible amount of stress because we're coming up to the close. And I spent the entire day chasing Leadway Relocation's agent and the mover for where they were. And at one point, the mover said he was going to show up at 6 a.m. on the day of the closing when the closing was at 8 a.m. And I said, absolutely not. That cannot work like this. I also want to say, as I go through this, I disputed the charges with my credit card company, and Leadway uses very strict lock and key contracts that you will sign digitally in order to protect them from a credit or from a dispute inquiry, even though they ended up never doing the moving service. So anyway, the day that they showed up at 10:30 p.m., the night before we're supposed to move, I'm getting worked up just thinking about this. They showed up in a rental enterprise van. Three gentlemen showed up. They were not wearing masks during, this was during COVID in September 29th of 2020. And they walked through the house and they said, this is double what the estimate was, so it's going to be now $12,000. So I've doubled the amount of money that was in there, and I'm calling the Leadway agent saying, they're saying it's double. This is not what we went through. I did the quote several times. I want an accurate estimation. And he was extremely unhelpful. I cannot tell you. I don't think the name on the contract is Jim. And I hope that any Leadway employees that watch this, including the lawyers that disputed my credit card statement, Jim, whoever did my estimate, and also the agent whose name I can't remember because I've tried to block out that 24 hours of my life where I spent awake the entire time trying to get my family moved. I hope you all understand how much trauma you've caused my family, and I hope that it never happens to a single person again. So I was arguing with the agent that the quote was inaccurate, it wasn't right, and his statement was, you need to get your items onto the truck in order to accurately estimate the cubic footage that's going to be used in there. And what I've now come to learn is that the van or the moving company that Leadway has contracted with, NEA, is known for scams of this nature, where you get your items onto the truck, they hold it essentially for ransom, where they take it, they hold it as they had promised, and then they charge an additional delivery fee on top of that. So if the quote would have went to $12,000 and then they held the items for the 30 days, which I was told was going to happen, there are many, many instances where either your items disappear forever. I have a personal friend that this has happened to, or they will charge an additional delivery fee, let's say $3,000 to $4,000 additional delivery, so that by the time you're entirely, the entire move has happened, instead of paying the original $4,800 that I was quoted, you're paying 3 to 4 times that in the end. So at this point, I had been awake for 50 straight hours trying to finish the move and get that taken care of, and I asked them to please leave. And what ended up happening is I called my entire family. They came and we moved my items to a storage unit, and I left it in the storage unit for 30 days. It was the exact way that I did not want this move to go. I wanted this to be something where it was exciting. I packed up my children's room and had it moved, and they got to come into their new room in the new house. Like, this was the exact way that I did not want this move to happen, which is why I was willing to pay almost $10,000 for this move to happen. But instead what happened is I was brought into a scheme. There were misrepresentations on Leadway's side of things for the amount of items that I was moving. I'm an inexperienced mover. I trusted their judgment to say, this is how many items you are going to move. And then I was given a moving company that was, if you look at NEA, like moving or moving lines, this is a well-documented scam. I then disputed the charge with my credit card company, and by using the documentations that I digitally signed, which I truly believe I was misrepresented by the moving company, I'm out the money that I paid already. It's not, the silver lining of this is that I did not lose all of my items. I still have, my worldly possessions that I did not allow to go onto that truck. So there's a lesson there. And I essentially lost 5 days of my life with my family, with the move and everything. And I didn't lose the $12,000 or $15,000. Like I didn't go through that part of it. So I was able to save myself. I hope that if you're looking at a brokerage, or if you're looking at these sorts of things and you find red flags, don't be pressured by high-pressured sales tactics to put down deposits. Work with a reputable company. My mistake, I Googled Leadway Relocation Services after talking to them and everything, and actually while I was on the phone, and I found a few reviews that were very positive, and in retrospect you can see that those were either fake or paid for or something. And so this is me, a customer who has lost money, lost time, and has I have a level of it, but my wife especially is definitely feeling the emotional trauma of what we went through. and I hope it saves you. So in the end, I filed a credit card dispute. I lost that dispute because they used the contract that I signed in here, which is very legally binding and very strict to the rule. And as I said, there's a lot of language that they were using about refusal of service and different things that in retrospect were very concerning. And so now I am filing a report with the Attorney General of Connecticut, which is where we moved to. Leadway is based in Florida. If I have to go to the Florida Attorney General, I'm willing to do whatever it takes, including putting out a very public video to say that, I lost some money. My ego took a hit. My emotions were fraught for several months as we went through this. And to this day, just thinking about the entire 2-day process where I had to deal with the agent and go back and forth, like it very much enrages me. And I hope that, with a lot of migration happening right now in the country, whether it's, from California or from New York or anywhere else, I hope that this video can help in any way. And if you are somebody that could help to resolve, it's $3,000. If you were a person that could help me to actually get any of this back, that would be appreciated. But really, that's not the bigger concern. The bigger concern is that in speaking to the Attorney General speaking to attorneys at the Attorney General's office, both in Pennsylvania, where he moved from, and in Connecticut, this is a very common scam and a very common situation, which is very unfortunate. And I'll put a link down in the description to a resource that I was given by the Connecticut Attorney General to basically, outline the move and protect you in certain ways. And so if you're moving across state lines, work with a reputable company. Don't work with Leadway Relocation Services. I hope you found this video trying to get some reliable, honest information about them, because I will feel much, much better that the things that we went through ended up helping somebody in any way. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, I think I'll be down in the comments and happy to answer down there. And if you want any more documentation on the fact that that I actually went through this or was real, happy to talk about that more, because I think the people that work at Leadway Relocation Services should seriously consider the moral issues that you run into by having this. The number of times that I was told by Leadway that they would show up to a house and there would be, unpacked boxes, or there would be a whole second house that they have to move. It seems like there is a larger issue at stake here, which is in the way that you try to estimate, and not the fact that your customers are misrepresenting themselves. It's the way that you are trapping people into a situation where this would happen, and then you would just have to double your quote, or you'd have to increase, the trucks and that sort of thing. So thank you very much for watching. I hope this helps. Good luck with your move, and I'll be down in the comments if you have any questions, concerns. Thank you very much.